Today, we're making this abomination of a neurofunk drum and bass track on the MPC One. Every now and again, I like to pull out the MPC One to make some truly deranged bass music, and today I caught pretty much the entire making that from scratch process on camera. Wanted to show that to you, and then show you how I take that and turn it into some reasonably polished bass music. In this case, some neurofunk inspired drum and bass. Let's jump into it. I've basically gone for my classic, just loaded a bunch of sounds and start flailing technique. So we've got a bunch of breaks in here that I downloaded for free ages ago. And then a bunch of bass one shots that all are sent to the same mute group. So I can just go ham. And we're set to 175 beats per minute. I should note that allegedly these bass samples are in some way generated by AI. This is a rabbit hole that I have yet to go down and definitely want to go down, because I predicted a while ago that neural networks would be the next advancement in sound design. And I think we're already here, if I'm understanding this correctly. Regardless, I will link the pack that I got in the description. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just heard about it, and I tossed them $5. They gave it away for free. So with that setup being shown and matcha in hand, grab your caffeinated beverage of choice yourself. Get comfortable. We're making some chaos. So this is what I've got so far. You pretty much can't do anything bad with sounds that are this good. And Neuro is known for being complicated, but it's in some ways also quite simple. And so let me just copy this whole sequence. We're just trying to build up to just a whole bunch of things going on. I'm trying to avoid the too many notes phenomenon, where you just keep throwing in extra notes until you've killed the groove. That'd be kind of cool. I feel like that needs to start sooner. Oh, that was sick. It's a lot. It also sounds kind of like a seal. That's fun. God, that sound is nasty. This is more like tear out dubstep rhythm type shit. See, I'm already getting distracted. So I only want that first growl. That's pretty clean. So you know what, we're just going to copy this again. We'll come back to that other one. Like I said, we're just embracing distraction here, because that's how chaos is made, chaotically. I mean, the funny thing about bass music is it's weird combination of meticulousness and kind of goblin experimentation, where half the time you're constructing a sound in a lab, and then the other half of the time you're just throwing things together and resampling and, going ham. Oh, I'm on the wrong freaking track. That's why that wasn't working. So what I'm going to do, okay, I'm using this one. So I want to be so let's just copy this entire pad. The funny thing is this thing has lazy chop in it, and I find myself using it not all the time. Half the time it's just easier to cherry pick the little chops I already know I want, which I know is not all that efficient, but whatever. Although, pro tip, if you've got your Q link set to this, you can, whoop, I want the end now. And so then I want this. Let's get rid of that break, and then... Okay, we try to keep this simple. 2, 3, 4. I feel like that's like almost there. I almost just need to like turn up this whole damn track. Something about that is not quite locked in for me yet. Okay, that's a little more locked in. I can kind of mess with that. I feel like we almost need like some sort of stutter or glitch effect. Let's try it again. There's something there. If we post-process the absolute living shit out of this, that could actually sound pretty cool. Okay, so what do we have so far? We've got this. So that's going to require some post-processing. We know this. It's like our B section. That kind of mirrors the first one. I'm obviously stuck on one rhythm. It's still a freaking mess. But let's build on this. All right. Track 3. We get another drum program. You will notice we have not used anything else. And BT Dubs, where I'm headed with this is that I'm going to take this into my DAW and process it a lot. Like glitch plugins, effects plugins, multi-effects plugins, just anything to make these sound a bit different, to make them like flow together. This is kind of my latest go-to way of making bass music. It gets sound designy, but in a very different, like in a different way than I normally do, I guess. So let's hop in here and get some drums. And for these drums, we are reaching into my $5 sample pack. Link in the description. So if I grab this one, we are getting there. Let's adjust this to fit the track a bit better. So let's keep this pretty simple. Okay, so now all I have to do is do that on the other tracks. This is going to be kind of difficult, and maybe we just follow this as close as we can. Okay, we had to do some of this manually, but we now have this, which is a lot. That goes pretty hard. I'm actually like hype on where this is headed. I feel like we need to like make some sort of intro or something for this, because this right now is just like all drop all the time, which like does not a song make. Let me copy this entire sequence. Let's make this 4. So what I want is this to be, this is not fully a breakdown. We're making our way there, but what I want is to just have this be like a chill section. So none of this either. I think what I actually need is a copy of this sound. So we grab this, we go to our next bank, and we get rid of that percussive bit. Get out of here. That still sounds kind of dumb. Can we rescue this? All right, that's good enough. We may or may not end up using that. What I need next, though, is like some sort of like actual breakdown. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to get this break back in here just as like a reference. I just need a key reference. So this will sound real dumb until it doesn't, essentially. Do a little kick build here. And then we change this into a key group program. And now we go key group program diving through my $5 key group pack. $5 gets you a bunch of key group programs, multi-sampled from my hardware synths. And right now we're going to put those through their paces. That's kind of cool. What if we just did that a whole bunch? That's not a natural movement. Get us a bass, shall we? This is gonna take some work in post, all right? Just like, you know, bear with me and stuff and whatever. See, this actually would probably benefit from some granulator as well. All right, I'm going to leave it at that on the MPC right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and export the stuff and bring it into my DAW and see if we can't like tile this together and make it sound a bit more interesting. So that concluded the making beats from scratch session. I exported those tracks, loaded them into my DAW, and then did some post-processing. It actually didn't end up being as intense as I thought it would be, but let me very quickly walk you through that. All right, so to start off, the processing on the drums is pretty minimal. On this break, I've added a little bit of OTT, compress it a bit, and a bit of EQ. So let me just get rid of all that. And I have this duplicate here for when it's just playing by itself. That's a little more intense. And I've basically upped the amount of OTT and then added Rift to distort it pretty heavily. And I've also chopped it up to like switch up the groove for these little fills. Same deal there. For the kick and snare, nothing too crazy, just a little bit of knock to add some like transient shaping and a little bit of saturation, and then just some subtle EQ. So let me just get rid of both of those. Just emphasize those transients even further. Then I have all these bass sounds in a folder, think bus in a different DAW, and I am literally copying and pasting this little piece of automation that I've just like dialed into taste to create pretty surgical like side chaining. I'm actually using a dedicated volume plugin, just the little built-in utility plugin. That way I can still adjust the overall track volume without worrying about touching the automation or vice versa. I also have a bit of other global processing on my entire bass bus, a bit of EQ, boost some highs, a little bit of OTT to kind of bring everything together, and then a little bit of phaser, just some subtle extra distortion. And then of course your side chaining. And inside the bass bus, you can see that I have separated out different sections of the bass part. The idea here was to, for one thing, just process certain elements a little bit differently from others. For instance, this kind of main stab. Here's without. I've also shifted this forward in time a little bit so it like syncs up to the groove a little bit better. And I've got some stuff like Dimension Expander, Crystalline, adding like a subtle amount of reverb and a little extra OTT just to let these stabs ring out a bit more. And then other elements are processed a bit more intensely. For instance, this right here, without, with, That's fairly subtle. I basically just like tried a bunch of infiltrator presets until I found something that helped glue the different sounds together, because that's the one big downfall of using a bunch of separate little one-shots, is that they might not always like flow well into each other. That's what this post-processing is for. And by the way, Infiltrator is a multi-effects plugin, glitch plugin that I find myself using all the time. Not affiliated with the channel in any way. I just really like it. So you'll even notice that I've like duplicated this bit of that last stab and I'm fading into it. And I'm also doing some automation for this beginning bit with another instance of Infiltrator. So listen to this mix level fade in. Get some extra growliness out of that bass, some extra phasiness. Same deal here. And that just perpetuates throughout. And then finally for this last growl section, this is one of those cases where a bunch of sounds are kind of just like jammed together, and I wanted to make them flow more seamlessly. So I've just got this ridiculous preset. That's before, here's after. And that brought it to life, made it sound a lot more unique, and helped those sounds flow together into this one twisted growl. I took that a step further during this little breakdown, where in addition to this preset still being there, I automated in this other preset and upped the pitch 24 semitones until it's just this ridiculous mess that I'm not even sure sounds good, but I think it works. Fairly minimal processing on the rest of the drop. I was a little less kind of surgical with it because a lot of it just fit well already. But the same preset on this growl here. Before. That's 3 different bass one shots merged together. And that makes them sound seamless, continuous. Pretty nice. So that's the bass. I did notice, though, that this was starting to feel a little bit empty. And so I went in and created some ambience from the elements that I already had laying around. So I took this ARP part that you have already heard me make, put that into Pulse Stretch, which is like a granular time stretching plugin, and got back basically this kind of weird little tone, which is kind of metallic. And then I put that through Infiltrator on this preset Eerie, and that helped just fill out the drop, make it sound less empty, and make it a bit more tense. Pair that with this, which is just the ARP as is with another Infiltrator that gives this kind of shepherd tone thing, so it sounds like it's continuously rising. Here's without. Here's with. That really helps make it tense and almost a little unnerving. It ups the energy level quite a bit. And then I've just buried these both in the mix. Same deal with this, which is like just a single bass note with some reverb and then more distortion stuff from Rift on it. These are the presets I'm using. And then just some subtle like delay and reverb elements, plus this like octave up, completely wet reverb. And then just no processing on that bass. So if I was to arrange this into a full track, I would go ahead and create some sort of intro and a proper build-up, but here's just the track as it is so far. If you'd like to see some more MPC One beat making, you can click or tap up over here somewhere, and I'll be back with a new video in a little bit. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching.